Welcome to the Texas Goat Radio Show. I'm your host, Matorius. This is part 6 of 1728 Owen Benjamin's live stream.
So this is why this is so fucking interesting, and I'm so fascinated by it. And when I'm poking at European Christians that the Muslims are going to take your area, I'm doing it as a big brother trying to get you engaged. Those Muslims...
He never does anything like that. And the proof is in the pudding. You can tell by his history, by video evidence, that he really doesn't have anybody else's interest at heart at all besides his own.
Muslims, a lot of them don't want your society to fall. Like, they want Christians to stand up for their children and stand up for their wives. You know? I promise you they do. I know a lot of Muslims that would love if...
I'm going to take this as a moment to just remind you, and just let you know, if you haven't been told, or remind you, you don't have to promise anything. In fact, it's encouraged for you to just let your yeses be yes and your noes be noes. So if you talk to people, and if you get in the habit of making promises all the time, whether you fulfill the promises or not, that's not really the point. Just let your word be. If you're going to do something, say yes. If you're not, say no.
Christians started having church service where they were preaching against sodomy, against global homo, against all this stuff we talk about, because they would have a better society. You know, they don't need their countries to be Muslim. They want you to act in accordance to what is good, what is obviously good. When they look at a rainbow flag on a church with drag story hour, it bothers them. They would much rather have a society with a Christian church actually preaching the will of God. Like, they're not really your enemies. Your enemies are the satanic forces that are trying to invert everything.
That's a universal truth. We don't fight against, especially in the Christian realm. We don't fight against flesh and blood, but against the evil powers and entities.
You can say Muhammad is a false prophet. He is pulling people away from the will of God. You have a right to say that. You have a right to say Joseph Smith's false prophet. Oh, it's not true, blah, blah, blah. Look at what is actually true. Debt is not wealth. Sodomy is not love. Women are to be cherished and married. Fornication damages women. Okay? We were created by God. Blah, blah, just make...
Blah, 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 once he brought God into it. But that is, he just listed... It's like, it's almost Thanos with all the stones or whatever. I'm not a big, I haven't watched a lot of those, but he's putting all of his universal truths that he knows that works into this net, and he's trying to cast the largest net possible in order to catch the most fish possible, in order to get the most money possible, because he's going to reel you in, and then he's going to milk you for all you're worth, because that's what he does. That is his MO. There is video evidence, hours of video evidence proving that that is the case. He literally stands for nothing except for give me money and expect nothing while I give you expectations, doublespeak. Very, very manipulative spellcraft wizardry type stuff.
Make a list and look down the line of what lines up with that list more or less, and look at the fruit of those communities. Look at science. Look at secularism. Look at all these people. It's way the fuck over there.
And he'll use that to say, look at the community. Because if you get that list that he just did of universal truths and compare those to his life, on the surface, it might appear that way, but his entire foundation over the last 3 years was built upon lies and manipulation. And so all of it crumbles down whenever you realize that. All of it crumbles whenever you realize what the foundation was built upon. Lies and manipulation, fear porn, all of that. But another aspect that he uses is look at the bear community. Look at all the good things that they do. And there are There are decent, hardworking people inside the bear community, especially the ex-bear community. And they have done amazing things. But it's not because of Owen. It's in spite of Owen.
If you're having these insane battles between Mohammed and the Trinity, but yet you don't see that they're basically the same when it comes to what actually matters, which will give your nation fruit, wealth,
I would really, really expect there to be a whole lot of people on both sides of this that disagree with what he just said. The things that really matter. Sure, those things matter, but not really matter. No, on both sides. If you're a believer in Jesus Christ of Nazareth, that is a big thing. If you're a Muslim, you agree that he was a prophet, but not the Son of God. That is a big thing. Sure, you can coexist. I encourage you to coexist, but to boil them down to just what he just said, I think that there's probably a whole lot of people that would disagree with that.
Sustenance, all that, and you go, oh no, but he's the false God, the false prophet, the false dude. Islam isn't even anti-Jesus. Okay, you're looking at
universal truths. What he does is he take them, and this is a very good example, perverting them, trying to make a statement, but in a self-gratifying way, because there's no sincerity with it, and that's why he perverts it the way he does.
This close. Actual biblical Christianity and Quranic Islam is right here. Joe Rogan buttfuck scientism is way the fuck over here. It's kind of like all these Jortopians and
he can't help himself. Joe Rogan, Jortopians. If you don't know the whole situation, I'm not going to fill
Reddit
you in.
Trolls that spend
I'm not going to fill you in right now. Just know that it's just,
all day, every day, trying to prove to the world that I'm a liar and a scammer and secretly this and blah, blah, blah. Look at the world. You could spend all day taking down any of these corporations or any of these actual liars. But no, you go with someone and you're like, no, he paid someone to make his kid's sandbox. What the fuck is wrong with you?
I'll have to agree with that. Who cares about that? And that's another thing that he does. He accuses all these people of trying to call him out for being a liar, but he never addresses the thing that people call him out for a liar about. Not one time have I ever heard anybody say anything about a secretly paid for sandbox.
Okay? And it's the same with Islam, Christianity. If you are attending a church where they're not covering women, promoting marriage, promoting, getting out of debt, stopping drinking, don't take drugs, don't fucking watch porn. You're not just forgiven because you accept Jesus. That doesn't even make sense. The devil accepts Jesus. Everybody that understands it knows that those words are true. The demons know God is real. What does that mean? Does that mean follow the law, follow what he says, live according to the tree of life? Or does that mean just acknowledging that he is the Son of God or he is bringing the truth to you?
This is obviously, in my opinion, confused ramblings of someone who cannot take accountability for himself. There's a whole lot of misplaced anger. And obviously, this is my opinion. A whole lot of misplaced anger. And it's actually really sad.
It doesn't save shit. You're just a coward. And that's why those trees die. I watch it over and over.
What is he?
Or does that mean just acknowledging that he is the Son of God or he is bringing the truth to you? That doesn't save shit. You're just a coward. And that's why those trees die. I watch it over and over.
Who is he talking about? Who is he talking to? This is so bizarre.
These hypocrite fucking Christian dads with their promiscuous daughters and drug-addled fucking homo sons. You don't get to just say, we're saved, we accept Jesus. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to black out and jack off to porn all night. And I don't feel bad about it at all because I've already taken Jesus into me. You're a fucking Luciferian.
Who is he talking about? Is there somebody in his life? Or is that just a cop-out general statement of Christians that he has conjured up in his head? I'm not saying that there's not anybody like that. I'm just saying that seems like a very blanket statement towards somebody. And there's a whole lot of anger there. That is just very bizarre.
Congratulations. That's why you get so mad when someone takes away your fear that nuclear bombs are fake. You want to know why? Because you want to believe that man can destroy the earth. All right? I can see right through you. It's not hard to see. The reason people...
Okay, so he literally is talking to an imaginary person in front of him. That's crazy.
People cling to the nuclear bomb so much is they want to believe man is above God, that man can destroy the earth with a press of a button, that our intellect has outthought the heavens, the sun, the rain, the soil. Hiroshima is thriving. This is why that has become such a hot button on Twitter. Because what I'm saying is not about debating historical facts. I can tell.
This is giving me the same vibes of, because he keeps talking about Twitter and the hot button on Twitter. And I think at one point he said it was like 95% of the people on Twitter were saying that he was stupid or whatever. And so this is giving me the same vibes of whenever he told that story of him berating the elderly person in the post office or bank or wherever he was. The elderly person asked him to put on a mask. And for some reason, he thought he got so offended that he verbally abused, berated, bullied an elderly person, and then bragged about it all day on his live stream, at least 4 different times, and said that it made him so happy to do that, to disrespect an elderly person, that it made him high. And this is another example of him saying, "Oh, well, that's just funny. That's humor. Clutching your pearls against humor." No, that's being a coward, because you wouldn't do that in a lot of situations. And I seriously doubt you actually did it. I seriously doubt that he actually did do that in public, unless it was just him and the elderly person. But he made it sound like there was a whole group of people there. Yeah. This has got the same vibe. He got his feelings hurt, and so he has to justify and almost attack everyone while he's doing it.
Talk about, does Genghis Khan have green eyes or brown eyes? Did he even exist? Were they on horses or donkeys? No one gives a fuck. I say that those were fire bombs and not nuclear bombs, and the world goes nuts. Why? Because they want to believe man has outthought God with intellect and the fire of Prometheus. You don't get around this shit, guys. One fatal flaw people make with me is they think I'm dumb. I speak it.
Listen to what he just said. One fatal flaw. Fatal. What does fatal mean?
In a way, I speak in a vernacular that's widely acceptable by. You don't get around this shit, guys. One fatal flaw people make with me is they think I'm dumb. I speak in a vernacular that's widely acceptable by a lot of people. I speak clearly. Some people call that vulgar. Vulgar comes from the Latin word vulgate, of the people. I'm telling you why people are...
Oh, man. Oh, please tell me again how you appeal to the masses.
way, I speak in a vernacular that's widely acceptable by a lot of people. I speak clearly. Some people call that vulgar. Vulgar comes from the Latin word vulgate, of the people. I'm telling you why people are
Spell craft. Come on, guys, listen to my my fear porn and my verbal gay porn. Come on, and I'll tell you why you can listen to it. I speak clearly, and I appeal to the masses. And one fatal flaw that people, or one fatal, was it flaw, mistake?
Their brown eyes did even exist. Were they on horses or donkeys? No one gives
This is a rant for the ages right here.
the fuck. I say that those were fire bombs and not nuclear bombs, and the world goes nuts. Why? Because they want to believe man has outthought God with intellect and the
This is, I would say, this is like a universal truth as far you, whenever you consider the, as I was saying earlier, the theoretical sciences versus the scientific method sciences.
fire of Prometheus. You don't get around this shit, guys. One fatal flaw people make with me is they think I'm dumb.
One fatal. That only means one thing, as far as I'm concerned, right? I had a boss at one point. I had already quit, turned in my notice, and the other times that I'd left for other reasons, they were able to call me and I would help them out because I was running the business by myself. And so there was certain things that they just didn't know because they wasn't there. And so I just checked my notes and fill them in, no harm, no foul. Well, at one point I finally was fed up and I walked away, turned in my notice, and they were calling me and I wasn't answering. Well, this person said, "I know where you are. Don't make me come over there." And that's whenever I answered. I said, "Don't you threaten me." And they tried to backtrack. And I said, "We're both grown men and we both know what that means."
I speak in a way, I speak in a vernacular that's widely acceptable by a lot of people. I speak clearly. Some people call that vulgar. Vulgar comes from the Latin word vulgate, of the
Speaks clearly, but double speak. Covers all bases, though, that you can't catch them in a lie, because no, what I really meant was this. It was a joke, guys. I speak clearly. No. The record indicates no.
people. I'm telling you why people are so attached to globe Earth, nuclear bombs, dinosaurs, Helen Keller, all this shit. It's because they put man above God. That if we're on a spinning ball in an infinite vacuum, no one can hear you.
Come on, guys. I still believe in God, guys. Come on. I know that I've blasphemed everything and offended everyone, but it's all because I'm a comedian, guys. But this isn't funny. I am a truther, guys. It doesn't make any sense because you're not smart enough to follow me. Just close your eyes. Don't believe your lying eyes or your lying ears. Don't believe any of that. I'm smarter than you, so just believe me.
Thoughts. There is no God above. All the Bible is a metaphor. It's all horseshit. Yeah, Satan wants to be God. The light of Lucifer, the promise of fire. You can outthink your creator. You are above your own God. You don't have to follow the rules. You can rethink it. The anus is a sex organ. Food becomes energy that becomes poop. The body is trying to get rid of the poop because it's filled with toxins and death. Okay, what cured disease was not vaccines, it was indoor plumbing, because poop is death. If humans live around where they shit,
Universal truth. Guys, I know what basic hygiene is. Believe me when I tell you that I appeal to the masses.
they get sick. Sodomy is jamming your dick where all the death and shit and disease is. Okay?
Come on, guys. Please please just participate in this vulgarity, because vulgate means of the people. So I'm really just giving the people what they want, even though all of my numbers prove that I'm not. Please believe me. If I say it enough, somebody's got to believe me. Please participate in my vulgarity, because it's vulgate, it's of the people. I appeal to the masses.
You are following a religion that wants to say that is love. You're inverted. It's hell. The stream is ringing with truth like a bell. Yes.
The stream is ringing like truth as a bell, or however that's it. Yeah, he's mentioned he's pulling out all of he's using everything that he has, every universal truth, every talking point, everything that is. I'm surprised that he hadn't mentioned way more conspiracy theories, to be honest with you. Flat Earth, Helen Keller, nuclear bomb, all of those, dinosaurs, everything that's interesting to look into, with some universal truths, but always with the vulgar spin of the Owen Benjamin gospel.
Because I can see, oh, you know what, Big Bro, I was with you until you said Islam. I mean, I'm in France right now, and these fucking people, I mean, they burned a car. You don't see it, dude. You don't fucking see it. Okay, out of us, let's say little Gamma with the emails or the troll or whatever. Out of us, oh, you don't care about the white race, Big Bear. You don't fucking care about the whites. You're secretly rooting for them. You want the Muslim to...
Does anybody ever say that? I've never heard anybody say that. One of the reasons is because it's normally a general consensus that Owen pretty kind of much is racist a little bit. And he pretty much is a white nationalist-ish. Maybe not nationalist, but he's definitely a segregationalist.
Two of us, who has led to the birth of more white children? You, 0. Me, tens of thousands.
And you could argue that, well, his wife is of color. And yeah, that's like an anomaly, because if you listen to his words, what I said is definitely at least mostly true.
Tens of thousands. That deserves some goddamn respect. Gamma with the emails or the troll or whatever. Out of us, oh, you don't...
Okay, hold on. The point of that was that whenever he does his little crazy psycho side voice, Iro, whatever, it's usually because in his head he found an argument, but he never goes with the argument that's in his head. That's one of the reasons why it's so clustered and not clear. And my point is that he always, whenever there is a room for a legitimate argument to be made, he doesn't go with that legitimate argument. He goes with something else that is almost meaningless.
Care about the white race, Big Bear. You don't fucking care about the whites. You're secretly rooting for them. You want the Muslim to... Out of the two of us, who has led to the birth of more white children? You, 0. Me, tens of thousands.
What? Oh my. What? Oh my goodness. Wow. Holy. I don't even know what to say to that. I mean, I've heard him say that he honestly thinks that he allows people to have children.
You don't fucking care about the whites. You're secretly rooting for them. You want the Muslim to... Out of the two of us, who has led to the birth of more white children? You, 0. Me, tens of thousands.
He's legitimately delusional. In his head, he really thinks that he is a king with authority and power who is responsible for the births of tens of thousands of white children.
You're secretly rooting for them. You want the Muslim to... Out of the two of us, who has led to the birth of more white children? You, 0. Me, tens of thousands. Tens of thousands. That deserves some goddamn respect. I know what the fuck I'm talking about.
That's such a bad place to be right there. Whenever you're screaming at literally no one or everyone, however you want to look at that. But it's not like he's having a conversation with anyone. It's not like he's running lines. It's not like that was a joke. Where you're screaming, I am responsible for the births of tens of thousands. I am responsible. The Gospel of Owen Benjamin. I am responsible for the births of tens of thousands of white children. That deserves some GD respect. That is...
0, me, tens of thousands. Tens of thousands. That deserves some goddamn respect. I know what the fuck I'm talking about.
That reminds me of stories that I heard about, what's his name? David Miscavige. The delusional ramblings and yellings and verbal abuse that he gives to his followers.
You will lose. You will lose your nation, your bloodline, your family tree, your wealth if you don't listen to what the fuck. No, it doesn't have to come from me. You can just listen.
Nope. That was in his heart. That was in his heart. The Gospel of Owen Benjamin. That he tried to correct himself, and usually you give people the grace and mercy of being able to correct themselves. But he literally just said that he is responsible. This is the same person just seconds ago. He is responsible for the births of tens of thousands of white children.
Do it. What I'm saying is objective fact. You will lose.
You will listen to the words that he's saying right now.
You will lose your nation, your bloodline, your family tree, your wealth if you don't listen to what the fuck. No.
If you don't listen to what I'm saying.
Oh, it doesn't have to come from me. You can just listen to it. What I'm saying is objective fact. If you treat your women like whores and you indulge
universal truths in order to get back to the Gospel of Owen Benjamin. This whole hour and 10 minutes was leading to what? I have given birth. I mean, practically, I'm responsible for the births of tens of thousands tens of thousands of children, of white children. He pretty much said I gave birth to tens of thousands of white children. I am responsible for that. That's what he just said. And then he said that deserves some GD respect. And so that is the Gospel of Owen Benjamin. That is the cult leader, Owen Benjamin. It's...
in your addictions. You will not have the birth rate that they do. You can call them names. You can feel racially superior. You can make fun of their goats and say they're fucking the goats. No, they're getting milk from the goats, not the store. They are less dependent. They are in less debt. They have more kids.
So much hostility. Have you ever had a mentor that taught you universal truths, that taught you spiritual realities? Did they talk to you this way? Out of anger and malice, with venom, envy, jealousy, rage?
Will win. Okay? You're a loser. Your white skin does not save you. Okay, let's finish this video.
You.
This is the Texas Goat Radio Show, and I'm your host, Matorius. As always, till next time.